Another Monarch mind control video that you might not know about, and many people might not know about this because it's a very, very old song. It's called Shatter Me. Basically, you can see straight away that she's trapped in something which is Monarch mind control. See, only a few in the industry are Monarch mind control victims. Basically, if they don't do what the devil tells them to do, they'll be programmed. As we see, the butterfly simulates Monarch mind control. Lindsey, who gradually losing touch with reality, sees a small monarch butterfly flying past her. Lindsey Stirling is not your typical pop star because, for one, she's a violinist. However, looking at the imagery of her video Shatter Me, we realize that there is no much differentiating her from other pop acts. Her most successful single is indeed all about Monarch mind control. We'll look at the symbolism of Shatter Me. Shatter Me is proof that the Illuminati agenda is not only imposed on big-time mainstream acts, but also on artists who appeal to niche markets. Lindsey Stirling is a violinist and a dancer who became a YouTube sensation with over 4 million subscribers and over 600 million total views. In 2007, she was a quarter-finalist on a show, America's Got Talent, where she was known as the hip-hop violinist. Stirling is involved with the LTDS Church and was featured in their I'm a Mormon campaign. She was also asked to perform in other important events organized by the LDS Church. In 2013, she signed with Lady Gaga as manager. Now, this isn't really a surprise because, a manager from Lady Gaga is guaranteed that they're gonna end up most likely the same as Lady Gaga is today. Troy Carter released her second album, Shatter Me, in May 2014. The album reached the second position on the Billboard 200 and reached number 1 in 4 categories: top US digital album, top classical album, top dance electronic album, the top independent album. Although Stirling is not a Lady Gaga type artist, the symbolism of her video Shatter Me exploits the same themes as Gaga Monarch mind control. In fact, it is one of the most blatant Monarch-themed videos in recent memory, as it taps into pretty much all of the symbolism associated with it. Also, beyond the flashing of images and symbols, the entire story of the video is actually the story of Monarch victim subject to trauma and dissociating from reality. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please read Shatter Me. Although the song is said to be about liberating oneself from fear or something like that, one simply needs to read to the title of the song to get its true meaning. Shatter Me is about an outside force destroying one's true self. Shattering is in multiple fragments like a broken mirror. When placed in the concept of Monarch mind control, the meaning of the song becomes even more sinister. So basically, shatter me into a million pieces, so many personas. The goal of Monarch programming handler is to cause trauma and enslave through horrific means. that is so severe it causes the slave's brain to trigger a last resort defense mechanism, dissociating from reality. This then allows the handler to fragment the core personality of the slave and to program new alter personas within it. See, true victims that are victims of Monarch mind control basically go through hell. This is what happens to them. They're basically tortured, as we know with the CIA. That's where it all started, where they basically would torture the enemy, basically Muslims. They would torture them to get information out of them, and then they took it beyond that. Now they're using it for their own gains to do this, create people as monarch, mind control, puppets and slaves, and they get away with it because the government knows they do it, but they don't care because they're part of the New World Order. Then allows the handler it through specific imagery and symbolism. The video of Shatter Me describes this horrendous process. There is absolutely nothing new in the imagery used in Shatter Me, as it was used in countless other Monarch programming themed works featured on this site, such as Katy Perry's Wide Awake and the movie. As we know, Katy Perry's Wide Awake, she's basically sat in a chair and she basically looks like she's a zombie. As we see here, she's trapped inside a globe. Monarch mind control victim. The video begins with a classic image used to represent an MK slave, a music box ballerina. The image of a spinning ballerina often appears in Monarch themed works mentioned on this site, and as the movies Black Swan and Hide and Seek. As we know, Hide and Seek, he basically has a personality. He basically has no control over it. Yeah, if you haven't seen the film, I don't recommend watching it, because in the film he just has a split personality. 1 minute he doesn't even know what happened, and the next minute is of a split personality. It's basically a Monarch mind control victim, basically, that when they decide to flick that switch, along comes that programmed personality. Trapped inside a globe representing the controlled environment of an MK slave, Lindsey spins on herself. While Lindsey is spinning and playing the violin, the singer Lizzie Hale is inside the engine of the music box, making sure it functions properly. Surrounded by spinning gears, Lizzie makes sure that the ballerina spins smoothly. The gear room represents the inside of Lindsey's head. The internal world of the MK slave. Lizzie represents her core persona, her true self, the one with all of her memories, experiences, thoughts and emotions. Like most MK slaves, Lindsey has moments where she realizes what is happening to her and attempts to break out from her programming. And exactly what I said many times, as soon as somebody tries to break free from the Monarch mind control, they'll just reactivate it. They'll just reprogram them. Because if that person breaks free from this, it's basically a big threat to the Illuminati. Because if they speak out, they'll kill them. This is what they do. They've done it for generations and generations, and they still do it today. And as we see, it's cracking from the outside. Lindsey attempts to free herself from her programming. She tries to free herself from the globe, but ends up on the floor and finds her mirror shattered. The symbol of the shattered mirror appears in almost every Monarch mind-themed video. It is often seen when the slave attempts to escape her programming. The broken mirror represents a point of no return, as it is no longer possible for the slave to go through the looking glass back to reality. After the failed attempt to escape, programming resumes. Lindsey holds a doll which was not there before, meaning that her handler is programming into her a new alter persona. Basically, her own old personality is now dead. She's not got her own personality, she is now controlled like a robot. Lindsey holds a doll, the symbol representing the creation of a new artificially made persona. To make sure we understand that this is not simply a doll but a new persona, we see Lizzie, who is inside Lindsey's brain, creating a mechanical figure. We therefore understand that a new medical, non-human persona will replace the core persona. As Lindsey is being programmed by her handler, Lizzie creates a medical doll inside her head. The video then let us know that this is all about Monarch programming and nothing else. And the butterfly. As programming is in progress, a blue Monarch butterfly flies above the globe, making it clear that all of these visuals symbolically represent the trauma, abuse, and programming of a MK slave. As you see, she's still inside glass. Lindsey, who is gradually losing touch with reality, sees a small Monarch butterfly flying past her. The butterfly then turns into a scary bat, which might represent her sadistic handler. The butterfly is actually a scary bat. MK slaves are thoroughly drugged, confused, and manipulated that they sometimes end up viewing their abusers in a positive manner. Then Lindsey literally shatters into pieces, representing the fragmenting of her core persona. As I said, basically her old personality is now dead. She's now controlled. She has no say of anything. The devil now controls her and controls everything about her. There's no way out. This is why many can't turn away. This scene implies that the MK slave was subjected to trauma so intense that her physique became fragmented. At the same time, Lizzie, who is inside Lindsey's head, places the magical doll she created between two gears to disrupt its functioning. The alter persona created by the handler has finally taken over Lindsey's psyche. The video ends with a scene that appears positive and liberating. However, given the content of the video, it is quite actually disturbing. At the end of the video, Lindsey is outside, meaning that she has totally dissociated, isolated from reality due to the intense trauma. Although Lindsey appears to be free, she is clearly not. The fact that her mirror and doll are still there tells us that Lindsey is actually at the same physical place, but her mind has dissociated, the state in which the slave handler can complete programming. At the very end of the video, a Monarch butterfly appears on screen, letting us know once again that this was all about Monarch programming. In short, through seemingly poetic symbols, the video told the story of an MK slave that is isolated and confined, then subject to trauma, until the core persona has completely shattered. A new alter persona is then created, and the slave completely loses touch with reality and her own persona. That's pretty sad and grim, but what do you expect from a song entitled Shatter Me? In classic MK style duality, Shatter Me is said to be about liberating oneself from fear, but its symbolism communicate the exact opposite. The process of subjecting a slave to mind control. The video contains almost all of the symbolism associated with Monarch programming, as described in numerous. Observing the music business as a whole, it is impossible not to see the pattern of reoccurring symbols appearing in similar theme videos. Although Lindsey Stirling is not your typical hypersexualized pop star, her video Shatter Me is proof that the agenda seeks to reach people in all possible niches in order to create one big inescapable MK culture. The same way Lindsey spins in a globe, watching butterflies passing by, we are surrounded by mass media watching seductive images passing us by, not knowing they are actually ugly, vicious bats. It is up to us to truly shatter that globe of the see and see reality for what it is. I couldn't agree more. Basically what it says there, shatter the reality, basically the lies and that the government had told you break free from it, and the only way you can break free from it is turn to Jesus Christ. You can break free from all of this. You'll never be brainwashed ever again. You won't be able to be brainwashed because you'll be guarded by Jesus Christ, and you'll have the Holy Spirit protecting you.